So this is an interesting stat coming in here from Jay Morrison here, and it says if Amarius Mims can win the starting job, he would be the 17th Bengal offensive lineman since 1970 merger to start a season opener as a rookie, and only the third tackle. So I guess if there's any speculation that Amarius Mims would become the starter or could become the starter, it would go against the Bengals' history of how they, go about things. Now, if we look down here, the only offensive tackles in Bengals history, Vern Holland and Anthony Munoz, those are the only tackles to ever start the season opener for the Bengals at tackle. And so Amarius Mims would be the third guy. And again, like I said, I've reported before that at the end of the day, they're going to give him every opportunity possible to win a starting job. But it just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't, especially if Trent Brown is healthy. You're better off starting Trent Brown, letting Amarius Mims sit back and develop behind him, learn from him, using Amarius Mims in different jumbo packages, kind of getting him used to the NFL, used to playing, at the game speed that the NFL is at. And again, going against really good block shedders, really good pass rushers, run stuffers, etc. That's kind of where you're better at. And based on the Bengals' history, that would be exactly what the Bengals would go about doing. Again, Cordell Volson, we started him his season opener in 2022. Michael Jordan, 2019. So, other than Cordell Volson and Michael Jordan, we haven't started a offensive lineman, the rookie season opener as a rookie since 2018. These are crazy numbers. I mean, you could say, well, we haven't drafted as much offensive linemen, but we definitely have. And you might say, well, those guys just didn't hit. Those guys were bust. We drafted a lot of bust. I guess, but you don't know a player's a bust when you draft them. It just goes to show how much we don't like to start a rookie. Because let's say you draft a guy in the third round, right? And you're like, well, that guy ended up being a bust. But when you drafted him, you don't think he's a bust. You go through training camp, you're like, that's not a bust. Or you might say, well, he's struggling a little bit. Well, let's see what he does in the season. So, it just goes to show how much the Bengals do not like to, start a rookie. Especially because you look how bad our offensive lines have been over the last, since 1970. We've had some of the worst offensive lines possible. And with all that being said, with all those problems and issues and setbacks, we still have a very small list, 17 players who actually went ahead and started the season opener as a rookie. With all of our offensive line problems, with all of our issues, that is absolutely insane. So, again, like I said, is it possible that Amarius Mims does go ahead and get a starting job? Yes. I still think Trent Brown is probably going to be the guy who ends up starting. He'll be the guy we end up, working with and kind of developing around. And then, down the line, it will become Amarius Mims' job eventually. And again, listen, at the end of the day, it is always Amarius Mims' job at the end of the day. That's the guy. That's a franchise tackle. That's the guy for the future. But for right now, based on Bengals history and based on what we know, based on what we've heard, as long as Trent Brown is healthy, he's going to be the season opener starter. And I can't see in any way possible it ends up being Amarius Mims. And yeah, I just didn't think the stat line was this crazy. I really didn't. And I can respect this a lot because it's all about, not throwing your new rookie lineman out to the wolves. That's pretty much what this is. I mean, even Jonah Williams, 2019, we took him in the first round. He didn't become the starter right away. So it's like there's no reason to throw your guy out there to the wolves and just, hey, we drafted you, now go play best football possible. You want to develop them, you want to plan them out. And you could say, well, we've also had a lot of linemen who were busts and didn't work out. And maybe if we started them right away, that would have fixed things. I don't know. At the end of the day, this is the history. This is what we do. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. I'll see you guys next one. Peace.